Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 5 of the NFL season. If there's anything I can help you with, please let me know. I'll be your host. My name is Andy, and I'll be taking you into Westworld. Did you guys watch Westworld? Do you remember that opening episode where you're living through the eyes of the person being greeted at Westworld? So he's learning what Westworld is the same time you as a viewer are learning what Westworld is. Well, I don't know if you remember that opening episode, but that extremely hot lady greets him at the front.
You must be William. Welcome to Westworld.
Takes him in, and then he has to choose an outfit, and that's where he learns she's actually one of the robots, and she's like, you can do whatever you like. I wouldn't have made it into Westworld. I would have done everything I wanted to right in that clothing waiting room and just went right back home. I wouldn't have made it to Westworld, but I have made it to week 5 of the NFL season. One of my favorite weeks because this is when the buys start, and that's typically when I usually start to take off in fantasy and with sports betting, because usually teams, they iron out their issues. You start to know who they are, and you can make the proper bets accordingly. And I don't know if you guys hear those rumblings like the Dothraki in the distance. Yeah, that's called Shanahan on Sunday night, and we all know how I handle those Shanahan primetime games. But more importantly, finally a goddamn good game to watch, but that's on Sunday night. But at least we got one to look forward to. Finally, now watch. Brock Purdy's going to hurt his wrist or something like that playoff game. Oh, Andy, knock on wood. If I am impacting a game that millions and millions of people are going to be watching on and betting on in this, I don't want to say dinky, but in terms of massive worldwide viewership, dinky YouTube video, then I have more powers than even you thought that I had. Almost as much as the power to give you bet $1. Want me to do that? I can, but Bet 365 can. If you're in the US, there's a separate link for you in the description. It's not available in every state, so make sure you're in one of the states that qualify for it. And if you're in Canada, there's a separate link. If you're an alien, there's a separate link for you too. You just got to be over 21 years old, no fake IDs. And obviously, if you or anybody you know have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Somebody's going to be there to help you out. And if you don't have a problem, but you want to help people who have a problem, apply for a job at 1-800-GAMBLER. Help out these gamblers. I don't know, or is that like a non-profit type of thing? I don't know, but I'm looking to make some profits tonight with this Thursday night game. Is it going to be a rusty game? Do you remember when these two teams played last year on a Thursday night? It was like 11-9 in the fourth quarter or something like that. It was one of the all-time rustiest games, and it ended on, what was it, Justin Fields throwing it? Was it just short of the end zone by a yard to Mooney? I don't know what the hell it was other than extremely unentertaining. This one, I don't know if it's going to be the most entertaining game in the world, but at least Hal throws a little monkey wrench into it. He's getting sacked every other play, but he's making some plays, had a great drive to tie the game up against the Eagles on the road last week. So what are we going to get this week? I mean, they're like a touchdown favorite. I don't think they should be a touchdown favorite over anyone. And what are you to make of those Bears? Why? Because they had a good game? Everybody looks good against them, but Washington's D is a little better than that, and they're going to be at home going up against these Chicago Bears. If I had to take a team in this one, yeah, congratulations. I'm going to go with the Washington Commanders. I'm not going to do the points and stuff like that, but I'm going to give you some props that I would like to attach to my Commanders win. And that is number 1, Justin Fields throws an interception. I'm not taking anything out of that last game. Like I said, it was the Broncos. And then all of a sudden, he turned into John Elway out there. I think that comes back to what we saw. Maybe a little better than those first couple of weeks because it was absolutely dismal. But he was like 27 of 33 the other day. It's not going to be like that. And I expect him to come down to earth. I'm going to take him to throw an interception. On the Washington side of the ball, I'm going to take Terry McLaurin to hit his over on receiving yards. We're seeing him up his production every single week. He kind of got screwed out of that sideline catch in overtime if you were watching that game, but he looked good these last 2 weeks. If you remember, he had that toe issue coming into this season. He hurt himself in the preseason game, and then he fought his way through it. Now, week 5, he looks to be gaining that full health. I think he is likely to have a good game. And then going back to something we saw last year and just pretty much all the time with this team, I'm going to take Brian Robinson to bulldoze his way into the end zone. He's one of those kinds of backs. When they're on the goal line, they will give it to him. They give him a ton of carries every game. I wouldn't be angry at you if you wanted to take his over. I mean, his over on rush attempts is 16.5. So if you're telling me this guy's going to get 17 carries, he should be able to hit his over on rushing yards. This is the Chicago Bears, after all, the winless Chicago Bears. And it's not like they could feed off the home crowd or something like that. They're going to be on the road for a primetime game. We saw how Fields played the last time these two met up in primetime last season. So I'm going to take Washington to win. I'm going to take the over on those McLaurin receiving yards, and I will take Brian Robinson to score a touchdown. I am very tempted to take the under on like Fields passing yards and stuff, because I feel like everyone is going to overvalue what they saw from them last week. And now I just feel like it's going to be unders across the board. But we'll stick with those ones. Also, I'll take if you want something on the Bears, because I think they're going to win. If you look at the points, they're favored by 7. Last week, they had a lead for the majority of the game, and Khalil Herbert got a ton of the run. They were praising Roschon Johnson before the game, and everyone was saying, you said you were going to give Roschon. Well, when you're ahead, Khalil Herbert's a better guy to use. But as you've seen in the past, when they go down by a lot, Roschon Johnson enters that game. I'm going to take his over on receiving yards, which is like 9.5 or something like that. He's a very good pass catcher out of the backfield. And if they do get down a couple scores, I can imagine him getting some dinks and donuts right over the middle, even if it is junk time, maybe not even in junk time, but I like that. So there's a quick couple of bets for you, a couple tree bets for you. I will wet your beak with those. There are a bunch that I do like on Sunday afternoon. And this is, I think this weekend's going to be a good one. And stay tuned. I will be back with you on Sunday for my best bets. And don't forget, do not forget, you know what tomorrow is? Friday, episode 5 of Francis and Friends. But hey, we didn't get renewed like one of the HBO shows. Oh, we're going to pick them up for another 12. I'm on a week-by-week basis. Just walking the tightrope. That's how it works, ladies and gentlemen, when you're dog fighting your way up these sports betting channels. By the way, I don't know if you are, but I'm disgusted with how many tune into my show. I know I'm making a sports betting show for you. It doesn't change the fact that I'm disgusted with how many. I just see them anywhere and everywhere, and everyone's it's almost like the whole podcast thing. There was a threshold. Now there's just too many. There's too many podcasts. My uncle has started a podcast. Too many people have podcasts. Too many people have sports betting shows. Hopefully I got in with you before that crux came, and I will be back with you Sunday. No, I'm not. I'll be back with you tomorrow. Francis and Friends. Be there Friday afternoon or don't. Talk to you then.